Welcome to this deep dive, and today we're going to be cracking open what's basically a time capsule.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it's meeting minutes from a church's global outreach team,
Okay.
spanning from 2020 to 2024.
Wow. That's a big span of time.
Yeah, and it's a really fascinating glimpse into how this local group grappled with real-world challenges,
Yeah,
in supporting missions both near and far,
right.
especially with some pretty big curveballs thrown in like the pandemic.
Of course. Yeah.
So we've got some pretty interesting stuff in here.
Like what?
Disappearing warming centers,
Hmm.
unexpected windfalls that spark some pretty serious debate,
Oh, wow.
and even a recurring plumbing problem that'll make you chuckle.
I'm intrigued.
So buckle up. This is going to be a journey.
I'm ready.
What I find particularly interesting here is the chance to observe a local group responding to global events
Yeah.
in real time.
Yeah.
The early 2020s were a period of intense change and uncertainty.
Absolutely.
And it's fascinating to see how this group navigated those uncharted waters.
Yeah, definitely. And right off the bat, the June 2020 minutes show us the pandemic's immediate impact.
Oh, yeah.
Canceled meetings, postponed events.
The works.
Yeah.
But what strikes me is how quickly they adapted
Right.
and found creative ways to keep the mission spirit alive.
I mean, what were they doing?
Video Q&As with missionaries.
Oh, wow.
Remote fundraising dinners.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they weren't letting a little lockdown dampen their
I
enthusiasm.
love that attitude.
This really underscores the adaptability of mission-focused groups.
Right.
They were forced to rethink their whole approach,
Yeah.
embrace technology in new ways,
Yeah.
and find creative solutions.
To connect with their supporters and those they were serving.
Exactly. Speaking of creative solutions,
Okay.
let's talk about that mysterious disappearing warming center.
Ooh, yeah.
It pops up in the October 2020 minutes,
Okay.
and it's like snooping into a riddle.
Really?
Yeah, the team's trying to figure out how to support it,
Mm-hmm.
but they keep hitting dead ends, outdated websites, conflicting information.
Wow. They even have designated funds,
Oh no,
but no way to use them.
that's frustrating.
It's a bit of a head scratcher.
The warming center situation highlights the challenges of navigating a rapidly changing landscape of need.
It really does.
It also raises questions about transparency and accountability
Yeah.
in those you support.
Right.
How do you ensure your resources are being used effectively when information is scarce or unreliable?
That is the question, isn't it? And it's a theme we see throughout these minutes.
Okay.
Fast forward to November 2020, and the warming center mystery takes another turn.
Oh, really?
What happens? The team learns it might not even be operating this year.
Oh, wow.
So they're left with unused funds
Wow.
and a renewed determination to find other ways to support the homeless.
Well, at least they are still determined.
What's impressive is their persistence.
Right.
They don't just shrug and move on.
No.
They actively seek alternative avenues to make a difference,
That's fair.
demonstrating a commitment that goes beyond a single project.
I like that. Exactly. And it's this commitment that leads them to some familiar names.
Okay.
In the January 2021 minutes,
Okay.
McCrest and Owell.
Okay.
For those unfamiliar, McCrest is a well-known local shelter
Okay.
providing vital services to those experiencing homelessness.
Right.
And AWOL focuses on empowering women in need.
That's great.
These local missions clearly have a strong relationship with the global outreach team,
Yeah.
receiving consistent financial support and hands-on help.
That's really good.
This highlights a key element of effective mission work,
What's that?
building sustained partnerships.
Yeah.
These long-term relationships allow for a deeper understanding of local needs
Of course.
and create opportunities for more meaningful impact.
Absolutely. And speaking of impact, let's jump to January 2022
Okay.
and that surprising $10,000 windfall.
Talk about a game changer.
Yeah, the arrival of those apportionment funds from the United Methodist Church sparks a fascinating debate.
Yeah.
The team is grappling with how to allocate such a significant sum responsibly, especially since there are differing views on how the denomination handles its funds.
Right.
Do they focus solely on existing missionaries or spread it across multiple local and global causes?
That is the question.
This dilemma wasn't just about dollars and cents.
Oh.
It reflects a larger conversation about local church autonomy
Yeah.
versus denominational accountability in mission funding.
It's a great point. The team wrestles with these big picture questions
Yeah.
while also considering the practical implications of their decision.
Of course.
It's a good reminder that even with the best intentions, making choices about allocating resources is a complex process.
Yeah.
They really emphasize the importance of prayer and open communication
Which is good.
as they navigate these decisions.
Transparency and discernment are key,
Yeah,
especially when dealing with funds that come with certain expectations or stipulations.
exactly.
It's about finding a balance between honoring those commitments
Yeah,
and responding to the needs you see on the ground.
definitely.
But amidst these big picture discussions, what really struck me was the consistent thread of smaller, everyday acts of service
Oh, yeah.
woven through these minutes.
Like what?
Creating hygiene kits for women,
Okay.
collecting baby bottles for compassion pregnancy,
Ah,
organizing turkey drives for veterans.
wow.
They don't shy away from rolling up their sleeves and getting involved.
It's a testament to their dedication. These acts of service, while seemingly small, can have a profound ripple effect on individuals' lives.
Right.
They build community,
Yeah.
foster empathy,
Yeah.
and demonstrate a genuine desire to care for those in need.
I couldn't agree more. What stands out to you from these early years?
Well, what strikes me is the team's commitment to balancing a global vision
Yeah.
with a deep investment in their local community.
Yeah.
They're supporting missionaries in far-off places, but they're also keenly aware of the needs in their own backyard.
Yes.
And actively seeking ways to make a difference right where they are. That's a great observation. It's a good reminder that mission work isn't confined by geography.
No.
It's about meeting needs wherever they exist,
Right.
leveraging resources effectively,
Yeah.
and making a tangible difference, whether it's across the ocean or just down the street.
Right.
And as we move into the later years of these minutes,
Okay.
we'll see how this interplay between local and global continues to shape their journey.
I'm excited to hear about it.
But we'll save that exploration for part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay. Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. So as we dive into 2022 and beyond, one of the things that really jumps out at me is that evolving relationship with Impressed.
Right.
Remember those early minutes where we saw the team so enthusiastically supporting them?
Yeah.
Well, things start to get a little more complicated.
Yeah. This is where things get really interesting.
Sure.
We see the team grappling with a tension that a lot of mission-focused groups face, balancing that loyalty to a long-standing partner, with the need to ensure their support is actually being used effectively.
You hit the nail on the head. In April 2021, they're going above and beyond,
Yeah.
happily providing breakfast and lunch for a whole week at Mancrest,
Wow.
even exceeding their budget to make it happen.
Okay.
But by June 2022, a sense of frustration starts to creep in. Concerns about changing procedures at Mancrest,
Okay.
a lack of communication from the organization, and even a persistent plumbing problem.
Plumbing problem.
That seems to keep cropping up.
Really?
I have to admit, I chuckled a bit at the plumbing saga.
While the plumbing issues might seem humorous,
Yeah.
they actually point to a larger concern
Okay.
about the organization's overall management and ability to maintain a safe and healthy environment for those they serve.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about a leaky faucet.
Right.
It's about feeling like their concerns aren't being heard
Yeah.
and questioning whether the organization is truly using their support in the best way possible.
So what do they do? But what impressed me is how the team handles these frustrations.
Okay.
They don't just throw up their hands and walk away.
No.
They actively seek clarification.
Okay.
Try to understand the reasons behind the changes, and even suggest meeting with Mancrest's executive director
Oh, wow.
to voice their concerns.
That's good.
This speaks to their commitment to responsible stewardship.
Yeah.
They're not just blindly writing checks.
No.
They're engaging in a critical assessment of how their support is being used
Right?
and advocating for improvements.
That's important.
It's a reminder that effective mission work sometimes involves asking tough questions
Yeah.
and holding those you support accountable,
It's not always easy.
even if those conversations are difficult.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a great example of putting those communication and discernment skills we talked about earlier into action.
I agree. And amidst all this Mancrest back and forth,
Yeah.
the team is also exploring new partnerships.
Oh, really? Like who?
Motown Soup Habitat for Humanity Grace Centers of Hope.
They're clearly not putting all their eggs in one basket.
This is another example of their adaptability.
Yeah.
They recognize that the landscape of need is constantly shifting,
Right.
and they're open to exploring different avenues to make a difference. It's about staying flexible and responsive to the unique challenges and opportunities that each situation presents.
Absolutely. It's like they're constantly scanning the horizon, looking for ways to maximize their impact.
Exactly. And speaking of maximizing impact, they never lose sight of the importance of fundraising.
Of course.
They're constantly brainstorming creative ways to engage the congregation,
Yeah.
and ensure sustainable support for their missions.
Like what kind of things?
A pie auction in April 2022,
Okay.
a chili cook-off in February 2023.
That sounds fun.
They even toy with the idea of collaborating with a local nursery for a fundraising event.
Oh, wow.
This entrepreneurial spirit is essential for any group
Yeah.
seeking to make a lasting impact. It's about thinking outside the box, connecting with people's passions,
Yeah.
and tapping into diverse resources to fuel their mission work.
Absolutely. It's about finding creative ways to make giving fun and engaging
Yeah, I love that.
for everyone involved.
It's not just about asking for money.
No.
It's about building community and creating shared experiences that benefit everyone.
Right. But just as they're hitting their stride with these fundraising initiatives,
Yeah.
the church throws a curveball their way.
What happens?
In late 2022, they decide to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church.
Oh, wow.
This disaffiliation wasn't just a theological or philosophical decision.
Right.
It had real, tangible financial consequences.
Yeah, it impacted their savings.
Yeah.
And required them to significantly ramp up their fundraising efforts to make up for that lost income.
It adds a whole new layer of complexity to their financial planning.
It does. But what struck me is that despite these challenges,
Yeah.
they remain committed to maintaining a 10% giving baseline.
Wow.
They're determined to prioritize their mission work, even amidst all this uncertainty and financial constraints.
It's a testament to their dedication
It is.
and a reminder that financial stewardship requires careful planning
Yeah.
and a willingness to adapt to unforeseen circumstances.
You're absolutely right. It's about finding that sweet spot between staying true to their mission
Yeah.
and navigating the practical realities of their financial situation.
And as we delve further into these minutes,
Okay.
we see this tension between core values
Yeah.
and practical realities play out in their ongoing relationship with McRest.
Right. Remember that question you posed earlier?
About
measuring effectiveness and adjusting approach?
Oh, yeah.
Well, in 2023, the team is confronting that question head on.
Okay, what happens?
After another challenging experience hosting guests at MakeRest in March 2023,
Uh-oh.
they voiced some serious concerns about the organization's changing procedures
Okay.
and overall effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
They even mentioned feeling less secure due to relaxed security measures for guests.
Oh, wow.
It's a turning point in the relationship.
It's a heartbreaking situation in a way.
It is.
They've poured so much time, energy, and resources into supporting MCREST,
Right.
and they genuinely want to see the organization succeed.
Yeah.
But they're also grappling with this difficult question
Yeah.
of whether their support is truly making a difference
Mhm.
or if it's time to shift their focus elsewhere.
It's a classic dilemma for any donor.
Yeah.
How do you balance loyalty to a partner
Right.
with a commitment to responsible stewardship?
When does continued support become enabling rather than empowering?
They're wrestling with these questions,
Yeah.
and it leads them to do some serious soul-searching.
So what do they decide?
They acknowledge the need to take a hard look at their future involvement with McRest,
Right.
and they start exploring alternative options for supporting the homeless.
Like what?
One option that catches their eye is the WAVE Project,
Okay.
which offers mobile showers
Oh, yeah.
for those experiencing homelessness.
The WAVE project represents a potential shift in their approach. It's a smaller, more grassroots organization,
Mm-hmm.
and their focus on mobile showers addresses a very specific need
Right.
within the homeless population.
It's a reminder that sometimes even small targeted interventions can
Yeah.
have a significant impact.
So what do you think? Was the team right to question their McRest support?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an easy answer.
Right.
It's important to remember we're only seeing one side of the story.
Right.
Through these minutes,
Yeah.
we don't have McRest's perspective
No.
or insights into the challenges they may have been facing.
That's true. But even with that limited perspective,
Yeah.
it raises some important questions
Okay.
about how organizations evolve over time,
Mm-hmm.
how donors can navigate those changes,
Yeah,
and the importance of open communication and ongoing assessment in any partnership.
absolutely. It highlights the need for both donors and organizations to be willing to reevaluate even long-standing commitments and have those difficult conversations about effectiveness and alignment.
Sometimes letting go can be as important as holding on,
Right.
especially when it allows you to redirect resources to areas where they might have a greater impact.
It's a powerful reminder that mission work is not static.
No.
It's a dynamic process
Yeah.
that requires ongoing reflection, adaptation, and a willingness to embrace change.
Okay, now, alongside these evolving partnerships,
Yeah.
we see another concern emerge in these later minutes:
What's that?
the health and vitality of the church itself.
In their meetings, the team repeatedly expresses concern about the aging congregation and the need to attract younger families.
That's a common problem.
They even point to a sobering statistic.
What's that?
The average age of their community is significantly lower
Wow.
than the average age of their church members.
It's a wake-up call for them.
Yeah.
They realize that if they want to continue their mission work effectively, they need to ensure the long-term sustainability of the church itself.
That's a good point. This realization sparks a search for new outreach initiatives
Yeah.
that might appeal to a younger generation.
It's a smart move.
Yeah.
They're recognizing that mission work is not just about addressing external needs.
Right.
It's also about ensuring the health and vitality of the community from which that mission flows.
Yeah.
They need to invest in their own backyard if they want to continue making a difference in the wider world.
And that's where we see them exploring some really interesting ideas.
Like what?
A bicycle ministry for underprivileged kids,
Oh, wow.
support for Ethiopian pastors, a neighborhood-focused grocery assistance program.
Okay.
They're thinking outside the box
Yeah.
and looking for ways to connect with their community in new and meaningful ways.
They're trying to bridge that generational gap,
Right.
tapping into the energy and passion of younger people,
Yeah.
and recognizing that they bring fresh perspectives and ideas to the table.
It's about building a more inclusive and vibrant community
Yeah.
that reflects the diversity of their surroundings.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is.
They're looking inward and outward simultaneously, realizing that both are essential for fulfilling their mission.
And as we enter the final year of these minutes, 2024,
Okay.
we see these internal and external focuses become even more intertwined.
The church's recent disaffiliation has left them with depleted savings,
Right.
requiring them to be even more resourceful in their giving.
But despite those financial limitations,
Yeah.
their commitment to supporting missions remains unwavering.
It's inspiring to see. They continue to explore new partnerships,
Yeah.
diligently maintain their support for existing missionaries,
Right.
and grapple with the complexities of supporting both established organizations and emerging initiatives.
They're balancing their legacy with a vision for the future.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, the work of mission continues,
Absolutely.
fueled by dedication and a desire to make a difference in the lives of others.
I agree. But we'll delve deeper into that final year and explore the culmination of their journey in part 3 of our deep dive.
Right.
So stay tuned for the final chapter.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the global outreach team's journey. We left off with them kind of at a crossroads, right?
Yeah, they were facing those familiar challenges, but also had new opportunities cropping up.
Exactly. So as we enter 2024, the team's still figuring out how to best support those experiencing homelessness, especially after that whole experience with McRest.
And they're still working on attracting younger families to revitalize the church.
Right. Plus, they're trying to balance their ongoing commitment to existing missions with those new partnerships.
A lot to juggle.
It is. But in October 2024, something new pops up.
Oh, what's that?
A partnership with the Winter Shelter Project run by the WAVE Project. Remember them? The folks with the mobile showers.
Oh, yeah, I remember. So what about this shelter?
Well, this new model seems to have really piqued their interest. It's a collaborative effort with multiple churches pitching in.
Okay, so how does it work?
Well, they all work together to provide volunteers and resources.
Oh, so that's cool. It takes some of the pressure off any one church.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it seems to offer a more structured and secure environment.
That's good.
Yeah.
Especially after their concerns with the misarrest.
Right. So they decide to team up with Utica United Methodist Church
Okay.
to support the shelter for the week of February 2nd to 8th, 2025.
This decision really shows how committed they are to serving those experiencing homelessness, while acknowledging the need for a new approach.
I agree. And it highlights the power of collaboration.
Oh, absolutely.
By pooling resources and expertise, these churches can make a bigger difference than they could alone.
A win-win.
Now, while navigating these local partnerships, they never lose sight of that global focus.
Of course.
They continue supporting missionaries like the Porters in New Guinea and Hannah Kapler in Taiwan.
That's great.
Plus, they're exploring new avenues for global outreach, like potentially supporting Ethiopian pastors.
Through the Global Methodist Church.
That's the one. It's really amazing how they balance those local and global needs.
Well, that balance is a recurring theme in these minutes.
It is.
It shows how mission work can take so many different forms,
It does.
from serving your neighbors to supporting people across the world.
Absolutely. It's about connecting those local and global perspectives. And as we reach the end of these minutes, we see the team focusing a bit more inward.
How so?
Well, they're updating their mission policy, clarifying those roles and responsibilities, even thinking about how to engage new members.
So it's like they're taking stock and fine-tuning everything.
Exactly. It's a sign of a healthy organization.
Definitely. They're not afraid to adapt and evolve.
And along those lines, they're also figuring out how to better communicate their work to the congregation.
Oh, that's important. What are they thinking about doing?
Well, they're considering presentations during services, maybe some short videos, even a Ministry Sunday event.
I like those ideas. Keeping things transparent is so crucial.
Yeah, and it helps to mobilize others when you can clearly communicate your purpose.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are your big takeaways from the Global Outreach team's journey over these 5 years?
Well, for me, it's a story of adaptability, resilience, and a really deep commitment.
They faced a lot of obstacles, the pandemic, financial issues, those shifting partnerships, but they always came back to their core mission.
They did. It's really inspiring.
And it really goes to show that effective mission work takes a willingness to learn, adapt, and collaborate.
Absolutely.
It's realizing that needs are always changing, and we have to change with them.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Mission work is an ongoing journey, not just a destination.
So true. And we see that reflected in the Global Outreach team's story.
Yeah.
Their ups and downs, their triumphs and setbacks, all driven by that deep desire to make a positive impact. What about you? What will you take away from this deep dive?
Well, I hope listening to the Global Outreach team's story has been insightful, maybe even inspiring.
Me too. And who knows? Maybe it's even sparked some ideas for how our listeners can make a difference.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's
Yeah.
been a fascinating exploration.
Until next time.